Hello everybody, it's Cape Rugby TV time, and as usual we bring you the very best of Western Province Club Rugby, and certainly tonight we are going to bring you the very best of Club Rugby, and I'll tell you about that in a second. Of course, big thanks to our partners on board with us, Direct Access, your financial services partner, Score Energy Drinks. As you know, they're on board with Western Province Club Rugby, and the Score 7s, that coming up a little bit later. MChem 24-hour pharmacy, Yes Electrical, Dulux Maitland at number 30 Cooper Road, and of course Intercape. Intercape is your official transport provider for the DHL Stormers and Western Province Rugby. Let me introduce you to my panel this evening before we go into exactly what's coming up. Jerome Parwater. Hello, meneer.
Hello, JP. Yeah, as you say, it's this time of the season, and I must say, I think the barometer was completely out. If we go back to the barometer, it was completely out on all these games. What was great rugby on Saturday and also yesterday.
Jerome is, of course, talking about the fact that it is Super League A finals and B and C finals over the last 2 days. Of course, semi-finals started at City Park. I'll tell you more about that in a second. Danny Jones, nice to have you here, Mr. Jones.
Good to be back, JP.
Yeah, it's been a full 7 days.
7 days, 24/7 rugby, and we were really blessed with some great games.
Yeah. So, folks, what we are talking about is, of course, the fact that it was the Super League A, B, and C finals at Newlands on Tuesday, on Heritage Day, and, of course, the third and fourth place playoffs also at Newlands on Tuesday. But for those of you that are not aware, on Saturday it was, of course, the semi-finals, and that was played out at City Park. So the last few days has been a tremendous amount of rugby, which has culminated in finding the best of the best. So tonight we're going to take a look at some of those highlights. Of course, in the Super League playoffs at Newlands, Hands and Hearts were up against Strand, and then St. George's were up against Belleville. These two teams will now go into the playoffs at City Park on Saturday. And the highlights of the matches in the Super League C finals, Scottsdene were up against Langa. We'll also take a look at the highlights in the Super League B finals. Hamlet's up against Kales-River. And then the Super League A finals were played off between Marties and Durban. So if you haven't seen those results, then tonight you need to keep watching, because we're going to show that a little bit later during the course of the show. And then we'll catch up with some of the interviews where the teams received their trophies, and we'll speak to the president of Western Province Rugby Football Union, Mr. Zelt Marais, as well as the African Bank Super Challenge sponsors. So they're, of course, on board with the with Western Province Rugby, African Bank, and they sponsored the Super Challenge, which was, of course, the matches played out at City Park and at Newlands, and we'll catch up there with the marketing manager, Felicia Robertson. But right, let's first go to some of the highlights from City Park. It's just a little bit of fan footage and some action, and just show you how many people were at the African Bank Super Challenge as the teams played through the semi-finals. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-hour pharmacy.
Ik sien baie uit na die dag. Ek dink dit gaan 'n wedstryd wees. Ek dink St. George's is altyd moeilik. En ons het redelik goed genoeg vir die jaar, so ek sien uit.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-hour Pharmacy. Right, there we go. A lot of fan fun. Certainly Hamlet's making a lot of noise there, as they always do. Danny, is that the club with the biggest supporters club?
Let's just say travelling supporters.
Travelling supporters.
Hamlets and then Franschhoek.
Yeah.
We must commend their supporters really travel. Yeah. Many of our teams have very great support from the communities and that. Yeah. But I must say, both Hamlets and Franschhoek, they're not scared to fill buses.
Not at all.
Not at all.
I think Intercape will be happy with that.
The Intercape should be happy with that.
Intercape will be happy. A lot of bus booking. Jerome, we were there on Saturday at City Park. Pretty much what we expected. Action rugby from all of the teams that played on the day. But it started raining a little bit. How much of an impact did the weather have on the day at City Park?
It's amazing, JP. You would say, like, especially the weather can have an influence on the game. But the way the guys were playing, wasn't raining heavily, but the guys didn't shy off with their passing skills and handling and keep the ball and play like normal rugby. That didn't even bother them. Yeah. But that's just how it is. And also, you would say, like, it's playoff games, guys would tend to kick more, but they kick more, but they kick in the right areas of the field. Some teams were clever, but they still keep to their structures like they played the whole year, which was very good.
Danny, some of the results there, False Bay will be disappointed that they didn't come through the ranks, but they've had a great season.
No, definitely. One must commend the coaching staff at False Bay, because year in, year out, they're very competitive. Yeah. They put up a great defense against Marties, led Marties until the last minute, and then I think it was one tackle too many. But False Bay can certainly hold their head up high. Yeah. They were worthy semi-finalists, and they pushed Marties right to the end.
Yeah. Jerome, just some of the rugby there on the day. The Belleville game certainly ended up being an interesting game, going down right to the wire.
Yeah, Belleville, and you talk about that Kales at City Park.
Yes, the City Park game.
Belleville in Kales River. The first half was the scoreboard keep on ticking, because then Kales River score, get penalty, then Belleville get a penalty. So it's like one for you, one for me. But also a great game of rugby, and I think at the end the Kales River forwards were just a little bit too strong, but it was a great game of rugby.
All right, folks, let's take a look at the first of our games from Newlands. It was the playoffs in Super League C, the third and fourth place playoffs. This was, of course, Hands and Hearts up against Strand, and the winner from this game would move into City Park this weekend to go up against the Super League B 13th place, which would be Young People's. Let's take a look at this match, and the winner here, as I say, we're not going to give it away to you now. Take a look at the highlights. The winner here goes through on Saturday. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-hour Pharmacy. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-hour pharmacy. Right, there we go, folks. Hands and hearts then, walking away with a 34-16 win over Strand. Great performance, though, from both sides, having made it into the top 4. Jerome, Hands and Hearts now have to play against Young Peoples. They'll be playing at City Park to make it into Super League B. Considering the fact that they are fresh, they've just played with each other, they had a rest last week, they'll be ready for this game.
I think Hands and Hearts will be ready because they had a game on yesterday. I don't know when last Young Peoples played, so it's going to be tough for them. But I think, I think at the moment it looks like Hands and Hearts has got the momentum, and they've played some good rugby yesterday.
Danny, how important is it for the teams at this stage to seek promotion? Is it something that the guys want? How desperate? Why is it important to go up?
JP, if every team wants to improve and they want to play in the highest division available to them. So here's an opportunity for Hands and Hearts. They had a great season. They're in one game away from achieving what they wanted to do set in the beginning of the year, qualification. So they're on track. And Young Peoples, obviously they would want to stay in Super League B, so it's going to be a big humdinger.
Yeah, right then, lots of action coming up at City Park this weekend. Of course, the other third and fourth place playoff was between St. George's and Bellville, and the winner from this match will go through and play against NTK, the 13th place finisher in Super League A. We'll take a look at that when we come back from the break. Welcome back, everybody. Cape Rugby TV time, and as you know, it's been an exciting last 7 days of semi-finals at City Park, heading through to the finals at Newlands. Of course, the big playoffs still coming this weekend, and the winner from the third and fourth place playoffs at Newlands, which was St. George's up against Bellville, they get ready now to play against NTK. But it's this weekend that this winner will play against NTK. Let's take a look at the third place, fourth place highlights. Back in a sec. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-hour pharmacy. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-hour pharmacy. Right, there we go. As you see then, St. George's up against Bellville, and a 1-point win for Bellville. Jerome, very close. Bellville now go up to face against NTK. Is this what you expected?
No, I must say it was. There were about 6 minutes left in the game, and then Dion Isaacs from St. George's came and he said, tough luck, and yeah, St. George. And I said, yeah, St. George's did well. But I mean, Bellville didn't stop. There were about 4 minutes left, and then they got a penalty.
Yeah.
So they kicked for poles because it was 26-35. Then they kicked for poles. I think, okay, I'll just kick for poles to keep the score but decent, so not too high. 29, then St. George's have to kick off, and I don't know what happened. The guy kicked off, and he kicked the ball direct out. Bellville got a scrum, played about 9 phases, and score almost under the poles. And that's Boete went when they score, and that's the game.
Danny, you can't. It's not over until the final whistle.
Definitely, JP. What drama. Definitely. I really didn't believe Bellville will pull it off. Jerome's right. With 4.5 minutes to go, they were 10 points behind. And so I thought they won't make it. And I mean, amazing, I must say.
Yeah.
Shows you Bellville doesn't give up. But it's not just in this game at Newlands on Tuesday. They did it against Bellagh, coming from behind.
Yeah.
And in 2 other games too, they did it from behind. So it's a kind of pedigree that they have. Well done to them.
Got to give it though to the St. George's fans, the Lulu boys.
No, they put up a great show, great crowd that they had.
Yeah.
They played till the end, and they also thought they won the game. They did enough to win the game. Yeah, Bellville came through in the end.
At the end of the day, you got to play it to the final whistle, right, folks? It's of course then at City Park where we will see the NTK match play out against Bellville, and the winner there will either retain promotion. If NTK win that game, they will retain their position in Super League A. If Bellville win, Bellville will go through to Super League A, and NTK relegated into Super League B. And similarly, the match between Hands and Hearts and Young Peoples, and I'm sure Young Peoples will want to stay in Super League B. But Hands and Hearts will desperately be looking for that promotion to go up. Right, folks, of course, the next set of matches that we look at, we know that these 2 teams will be promoted or many of these teams will be promoted into either Super League A or into Super League B. But Tuesday at Newlands, we keep thinking it was a Saturday. Tuesday at Newlands was all about playing for the cup. Right through the season, that's where it was going to go through. You had to get through your log games, and then you had to play through the top 6, and only the winner at Newlands would be crowned as the Super League A, B, or C champions. But we've got some interesting promotions. Scottsdene goes through, Langa goes through, so some very, very proud teams there. Let's take a look then at the first of our Super League C finals, Scottsdene up against Langa.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-hour pharmacy.
Right, there we go. Fantastic results there. Langa winning 26 points to 14 over Scottsdene. Jerome, what a great performance from Langa.
Yeah, very good performance. I must say I was surprised by the defense of Langa, because we know Scottsdene on the day, if you don't defend properly, they will run you to pieces. But great defense by Langa, and also their general play, their set pieces were good, their lineouts were good, their scrums were good, and a great performance by them. And I must say the score at the end there, it was 14-16 till about 8 minutes before time, and then Langa just open up and get the points and score, and a great win for them.
Danny, the interesting thing here is that out of the teams that played at Newlands, and if I look at Langa's record for the year, Strand, Hands and Hearts and Scottsdene were all teams that played at Newlands or at City Park, and Langa lost to all of those teams during the year, but yet in the Super Challenge they came through and they pulled it off.
JP, the league, it's about qualifying, and the championships, it's about winning. And that was Langa's game plan.
But I mean, it also just goes to show a little bit about their mindset on the day, and looking at the team and looking at the quality of rugby. We saw some great lines, great defence. It really looked like a quality outfit. And Jongi Nokwe, their coach, has obviously done a great job there. But clearly, there's the mindset of going to Newlands and knowing we must do this, knowing that they've lost to all of those teams in the past, saying, well, we're not going to lose here, we're going to win this. The mental conditioning was intact.
I suppose their mental thing was, we've got nothing to lose, and so all we have to do is play well, and then the result will go our way, and I think that happened.
Yeah. All right, well, there we go, folks. Langa, a fantastic season. They, of course, win the Super Challenge. They've had a great result, and what a turnaround to come around, and then, of course, take the victory at Newlands, and they will now be promoted into Super League B. Let's take a look at the team receiving their awards at Newlands on Tuesday.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-hour pharmacy.
Younger, winners of Super League C, you guys fiddled around a little bit there in the league at 5 and 6 and 7 and every there and then all of a sudden we see you at the top of the pile and winning Super League C. How does that feel?
I'm feeling happy, sir. I'm feeling happy, and then I want to thank my coach. Yeah, I want to thank my coach and my teammates also for us work together the whole year, and we told ourselves that this year, this is our year, we're gonna go up in the Super League B.
What is this? We see Peter Adams, he's come down, I think, all the way from Pretoria, former mentor at Langa, a number of other big supporters as well. What does this mean for Langa?
It was a big surprise for us. Special Peter came from far away.
Yeah.
And then in the last day he was here, because he wasn't here the whole season. But today he told himself that he's going to come here.
Well, we're going to leave it at that. Once again, congratulations. You guys are the official winners of Super League C. Ladies and gentlemen, Younger Makiva, Langa.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-hour pharmacy.
Well, great performance there from Langa. Very happy team. And, of course, celebrating at Newlands. What better place to get your trophy than at DHL Newlands? The guys will be very happy there as they walk away as the champions in Super League C of the African Bank Super Challenge. Folks, when we come back from the break, we'll take a look at Super League B final. It was Hamlets up against Kales River. Welcome back, folks. Cape Rugby TV. We're featuring the winners of Super League A's, B's and C's this weekend. Very exciting, or at least on Heritage Day. We keep thinking it's the weekend. Remember, you can win yourself a can of Score during the course of the show, so make sure that you keep your mobile phone handy. Score is, of course, the official partner to the Score West Bromwich Club Rugby Sevens. Kicks off in 2 weeks' time. It's going to be quite exciting. Hamlets were up against Kales River. This is the Super League B final.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-hour pharmacy. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-hour pharmacy.
Right, there we go, folks. A win then for Hamlet, at least not for Hamlet, for Kales River. Kales River walking away 17-13. Jerome, 15 minutes before the end, Hamlet was leading. Is it composure?
Yeah, I must say, I think the first half, Kales River were leading, and then Hamlet's catch up. But a low-scoring game, and then I think it was a proper final. Though they played tactically right, and the defense was sorted. Low-scoring game, but Hamlet's had it. But then Kales River just at the end managed to get their points, which I think Kales River were very strong up front. So that was a difference between the two sides. But Hamlet's also never gave up.
Danny, how much of a difference would a player like Earl Rose have made on the day for Kales River?
He did make a difference, JP, for Kales River. I thought he was the difference. He dictated the game well, and he's calm under pressure. Earl Rose is a quality player, and in any team, he'll definitely lift their spirits and lift the game.
Yeah, it's almost like he's computing the field. It's like slow motion when you see him with the ball. Quality players. Kales River, of course, there with the legendary Earl Rose playing in the squad there, and Kales River then walk away as the champions in the African Bank Super Challenge. Let's take a look at the guys receiving their trophy at Newlands.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-hour pharmacy.
He's absolutely blown away. Die Keiler boys het almal trots gemaak daarso hierdie jaar. Right mense sal my nou, Iver van der Merwe, Iver. Groot dag vir julle, né?
Definitief. Ek weet nie basis wat meer om te sê nie. Vir my voel ek net dit was basis span poging. Ons het die afgelope paar jare van wat ek vir Kales River gejoin het ons nog nie regtig vir Hamlet kon ons nie daai wen gepluk het nie, maar nou uiteindelik het ons dit gedoen in tyd wanneer dit saak gemaak het.
Was daar 'n paar oomblikke in die game waar jy miskien gewonder het?
Ja, hy sang soms 'n bietjie in, maar ek dink basis wat ek die manne laat weet het was net kyk St. George's het hulle verlede week bietjie gestrek met die extra time, so ek het geweet hulle tenke gaan bietjie leeg wees en ons gaan moet begin optel om vir hulle aan te vat.
Ons los hom daarso. Geniet maar die aand daarso saam met die boys. Julle ons baie trots gemaak.
Ja, definitief. Dankie.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-hour pharmacy.
Right then, some very, very happy players and a very happy team. Kales River have been in Super League A before, Danny, and now they went down to Super League B. They've played their way back. Hamlets and Kales River, will they be ready for Super League A come 2020?
No, I definitely think the two of them have to be ready. They're in the big league, and as an ex-Springbok coach said, if you're running with the big dogs, you must be able to lift your leg up high. So I think that they have good coaches. Easters and Gavin are both two good coaches. And I think if they plan their whole off-season and pre-season well, they will be competitive because they do have class in the team. They must probably lack, especially Hamlets, the forward capacity compared to the bigger teams, but they do have strong running backs and those things. But I do think they will do their work because both teams played the whole season to qualify. They've done that now, and now they have to now sit back on the drawing board and now go see how they can engage with the big dogs.
Jerome, any advice from your side?
No, just who was that Springbok coach, Mr. Jones?
I'm not so sure.
It sounds like Peter de Villiers.
We're going to have to find that quote, the best Springbok coaches quote ever. If you play with the big dogs, you must. Anyway, Jerome, advice for Kales River and Hamlets? They're going to obviously have a little bit of time off now, and then pre-season starts. Pre-season starts before the end of well, maybe sevens is a little bit of focus, but pre-season's here soon.
Yeah, look, if they want to measure themselves, they must look at Martis, look at UCT, look at what UWC was doing, look at Falls Bay, Durban. That's the sort of teams that you sort of look at and what they were doing. Maybe ask advice and see when did they start, what did they do to get the guys strong and get the guys ready for the season. There's a lot of info out there. They must ask, they mustn't be shy, And there's a lot of help out there, but it's going to be important for them to pitch and to be ready for the next season.
Right, folks, so yes, we're looking forward to tracking the teams and their pre-season and off-season preparation, and we've said this many, many times, you can't wait until a month or two before the season kicks off to get your conditioning in place. If you want to win yourself a case of Score energy drinks, 33090, that's the number that you need to text right now. Just grab your mobile phone and SMS the word SCORE to 33090. Congratulations to last week's winner, Michael Peterson. Michael, somebody from Cape Rugby TV is going to be in touch with you shortly, and you walk away with a case of Score energy drinks. Folks, we're going to take an ad break. When we come back from the break, we will take a look at the Super League A finals that took place at Newlands on Tuesday. We'll be back after the break. Right, welcome back, everybody. Of course, the big match that was played at Newlands, although all of the matches were big matches, but Super League A is what a lot of people were looking at, and it was going to be a monster match. Jerome, before we look at the results, Marty's had to come from behind over the last 6 weeks or so. They played a Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, pushed it through from where they were, I think, at like number 10 or so on the log, ended up being at number first on the log. They did a lot of hard work to get to Newlands.
Yeah, it was tough for them, JP, and also they had to win their games with bonus points and also look at the points difference of other teams. So they had a lot of homework to do, and yeah, which they've done well. I think the last 3 or 4 games, we could see that they were going to make it, but they still had a lot of hard work to do it. Yeah. And a young team, very young team of Marty's, and for that guys to pull through and play the type of rugby that they played, well done to them. And I mean, it's not easy playing in Super League A, competitive, hard against older guys, and the young guys did well.
All right, so before we go to Mr. Jones and get his comments, let's take a look at the highlights then. It was Marty's, Stellenbosch University, up against Durban in the African Bank Super Challenge finals at Newlands.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy.
Right, there we go, folks. What a fantastic match there from Durban. 22-13 winners then over Marty's. Danny, we were saying yesterday that Durban was saying that this is the first time that an open side has beaten all 3 university sides in one league. does in one season. Does that sound right to you?
Well, I do think that if you take the league, Durban lost in the league, and this is the knockouts. But we can't take away the great season Durban had.
Yeah.
It's amazing in that they ended third on the log, had to play a quarter-final, a semi-final, and a final, and they proved it, in what was it, in less than 10 days, playing 3 games, and against a very good Marty's team. And they succeeded, so well done to Durban. They did represent us in the Community Cup.
Jerome, let's go to you. Great result for Durban.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at this whole season, if you look at that score, I haven't seen Marty's with a score like that, 13 points. Their score is normally 50, 70s. So Durban did their homework. They put them under a lot of pressure at set piece, which they did to keep the ball away from them. And also they starved them a bit of ball, because they didn't just unnecessarily kick the ball to their youngsters, because if you kick to them, they will run you to pieces. So their planning was spot on by starving them of ball, putting them under pressure at set piece, and the result was there, and great defense.
Danny, they will take a little bit of time off now, but these two teams, as we were saying earlier on, these two teams will certainly get back to pre-season quite quickly.
Definitely, JP. Marty's they have to get back with regard to the Varsity Cup, and as the champions in the Varsity Cup. Durban, most probably with reference to the Community Cup. We're not sure yet on the format. We're still waiting on the SA Rugby to convey the format to us. So yeah, I think the players need a good rest, and from there they will then do their pre-season, and Jerome, get into Jerome's programs, pre-season, in season, out of season, and who knows what, festive season.
Festive season, yeah. And of course it's the Sevens coming up, the SCORE Western Province Club Rugby Sevens coming up later in the year. But now let's see the boys receive their trophy at DHL Newlands.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, SCORE Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy.
All credit to. Right folks, saam met my nou Tiandra Duin, kaptein by Derbies. Ons het nou gekyk hoe celebrate julle so 'n bietjie en dit nou 'n bietjie ingesink.
Ja, JP definitief. Soos ek sê, ek dink hier daar's 'n enige oopklap in die Super A waarvan ek weet wat hulle Super League uitgewen het hier. En ek moet sê, soos ek sê voorheen, dit was 'n 2 jaar plan vir ons en ons is net dankbaar dat dit afgekom.
Jong, ek wil nou amper vra wat kom nou volgende, maar ek meen daar is nog, ek veronderstel julle gaan 'n bietjie die aand geniet, maar dan staan natuurlik Sevens en dis nie lank voordat die mense weer begin nie.
Ja, kyk, definitief ons is definitief nou klaar vir die seisoen. Ons gebruik gewoonlik die Sevens om jonger spelers deur die stelsel te druk. So ons sal nou heeltemal op 'n break gaan, afhangende ons weet nog nie wat gebeur met die Gold Cup of so, of ons gaan enigstens gaan pre-season hierdie jaar nie. So ons wag nog vir al daai inligting om deur te kom, maar vir nou, ons is klaar vir die jaar, ons gaan die voete opsit en ons gaan lekker is.
Ja, julle het 'n great job gedoen. Hoopelik sien ons julle natuurlik weer op die captain's tafel hierdie jaar.
Ja, hoopelik. Dit sal lekker wees.
Ja. Alright, ons los hom daar so jy kan maar 'n bietjie gaan celebrate met die boys. Ja, julle ou se great seisoen, jong. Baie goed gedaan.
Dankie JP, waardeer hoor.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, SCORE Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy.
Right, an incredible performance then for Durban. They walk away as the Super League A champions in the African Bank Super Challenge. And it's been a great year for them. Folks, we're going to take an ad break. When we come back from the break, we'll take a look at some of the fixtures coming up this weekend, and we'll also catch up with the president of Western Province Rugby Football Union, as well as the marketing manager for African Bank, Felicia Robinson. Back in a sec. Right, welcome back, folks. Remember, you can find us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. And so, of course, over the weekend and at Newlands yesterday, it was the African Bank Super Challenge. And, of course, African Bank has now come on board with Western Province Club Rugby and will be sticking around. Mr. Jones, African Bank with Western Province Rugby Football Union now for a bit.
Definitely, JP. We want to thank African Bank, Felicia and KB. KB is the national marketing manager, for their investment, because it's an investment in club rugby and also in our communities. So we want to thank African Bank for their investment in social cohesion. And we are hoping that this is going to be sustained over the next few years. And therefore, we want to encourage our clubs and communities to get involved in African Bank activities. You know, it would help us a lot.
Right, so African Bank then on board with Western Province Club Rugby and the Union. But yesterday it was the Super Challenge at Newlands, and we managed to speak to the president of Western Province Rugby Football Union, Mr. Zalt Maree, on the day, on the field, as well as Felicia Robinson, the head of marketing at African Bank.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy.
With me, I've got the president of the Western Province Rugby Football Union, Mr. Zalt Maree, as well as the head of marketing for African Bank, Felicia Robinson. Zalt, let's just quickly ask you, it's been a fantastic season so far.
JP, it's really been an awesome season for all of us. I mean, I can't thank the clubs more for putting up such a great event today. I think the games on the day was also close, and the rugby that was played was a really world-class standard. But I think all this could have not been made possible by African Bank. So I want to thank them very much for putting out such an awesome day for us. Thank you very much.
Right, thank you, Zalt. It's been a great day. Felicia Robinson, head of marketing for African Bank. Felicia, from your side as well, first time at DHL Newlands as an official sponsor to Western Province Club Rugby. Must have been exciting.
What a privilege for African Bank to be here today, and congratulations to all of you. What a nice game. Well done, guys.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy.
Great opportunity, looking forward to that. And of course, Danny, the clubs and players can open their bank accounts now with African Bank.
Definitely, JP. We would encourage that. As I said, it's a relationship. We do the rugby and the entertainment, and African Bank does the investments.
All right. Well, I like the fact that they've got this bank account, that you can open a bank account for yourself, and then you can maybe give a card that is linked to your bank account. You give it to your daughter or your brother, your sister, or whoever it is that you need, without them having to open an account. Yeah. So there's one account linked to many. I think it's a fantastic solution. Jerome, that's the kind of thing that you might want to do. Open an African Bank account for yourself, and then you can give to all your teammates a card.
I'll just keep my PIN number.
Yes, that's right. So there's a great opportunity for individuals out there who need a bank account and want to have a bank account for colleagues or friends or family without them having to go through the rigmarole of opening a bank account. Let's take a look at the Promotion League results then that were on over the weekend. Blake's with a 38-26 win over Masiphumelele. Eerste Rivier went down to Albion's 29-24. Noordlikers 48-10 over Peninsula, and Violets 33-13 win over Hamadias. And I must say that it must have been a bit of a derby match, Violets and Hamadias. Of course, the Promotion League fixtures coming up this weekend. It's Albion's up against Noordlikers, Masiphumelele take on Peninsula, Hamadias and Blake's, and CPUT and Eerste Rivier. In the PAL League, some big games. Of course, the end of the PAL League first round now, and now they will go into the top 8, so to speak, where 1 will play against 8, 2 will play against 7, 3 will play against 6, 4 will play against 5. So the teams were all playing for position over the weekend. PAL Rangers then with a 37-30 win over Riverstones. Peril United going down to Allendale 52-12. Young Gardens went down to Lower PAL 59-7. And Young Standards with a 26-14 win over Vilas PAL. And of course, PAL Rangers and Lower PAL certainly streaks ahead of a number of the other teams in the PAL League. Danny, quite a bit of a gap there between Lower PAL and Peril United. At least not Peril United as well, and PAL Rangers. But the likes of Riverstones will be chasing them heading to the finals of the PAL region.
Definitely, JP. Riverstones and Young Standards will be definitely fighting there, and of course Allendale getting in there. But well done to PAL Rangers for the season so far. Lower PAL is normally the team that Lula says, but Wetslaan and Peril. Yeah. But Rangers has done well, and well done to them.
Let's take a look at the fixtures then coming up in the PAL region this weekend. Riverstones are up against Young Gardens. PAL Rangers take on Simondium. Lower PAL take on Violets PAL, and Allendale take on Young Standards. Right, folks, that's pretty much a wrap for us then here at Cape Rugby TV. We hope that you've enjoyed following through the semi-finals and into the finals. And, of course, we're going to be at City Park this weekend when we go and watch those playoffs between Bellville and NTK, as well as Hands and Hearts up against Young Peoples. That's at City Park this weekend, the Promotion League playoffs. Jerome, can Bellville make it into the Super League A when they take on NTK, who are obviously used to playing in Super League A?
Yeah, look, NTK has got an advantage because they've been playing a couple of years in Super League A, but in saying that, NTK has played, I think it's a month ago that they've played their last game, and Bellville has been playing tough games. Hopefully the guys can recover from the injuries. I saw Saturday a few guys didn't play because of injuries. So hopefully they'll be ready Saturday to play. And I think Bellville has a chance to, because they've played them last year. So I think they have an opportunity to showcase that they can make it this year.
And then Danny, Hands and Hearts up against Young Peoples. Hands and Hearts coming fresh off the track at Newlands. They'll be ready for this game.
Well, I'm sure, look, Young Peoples won't be an easy team to beat, but Hands and Hearts, as Jerome said earlier, they got the momentum.
Yeah.
Played on Tuesday, had a win. So that momentum is important, and momentum is sometimes the thing that drives you. Coupled with the games at City Park, we will also commemorate the Imam Harun, who you know, who died in custody, and this is part of the 50-year celebration, commemorating his life and the martyrship and all that the Imam has done, because he played a tremendous role in rugby at City Park. He lives on the boundary of City Park, and there's been, I mean, he was also buried from City Park. So it is rugby's way of just saying thank you for the Imam and his family and his role that he played in rugby and at City Park.
All right then, folks, we look forward to then seeing you on the weekend. Jerome, your plans for the weekend? City Park?
City Park.
City Park. Danny, your plans, rugby plans for the weekend?
City Park.
And then quickly, Danny, a prediction. Springboks, Namibia.
JP, Namibia will be giving us a real tough time, but the score, as they say, look at the scoreboard, it should be 52-17.
Jerome, would you like to give us a prediction there on the barometer? The barometer.
Springboks 65-7.
Springboks 65-7. Right, folks, as of course your predictions for the weekend. Look out and support the Boks there, of course, at the World Cup. We'll see you at City Park on Saturday. Have a fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye.